Guided visitor safety and environmental orientation and expectations. We welcome you to the Tembec Cochrane operation. Our safety vision is to reach and sustain an incident-free environment. We cannot achieve these objectives without your help. You can make it happen. The first step in keeping our workplace injury-free is for you to become familiar with our safety guidelines, spill response, and waste disposal guidelines. Some of our guidelines are standard industry practice, others you will find specific to our site. We want to make our site a safe and healthy workplace. Please help us by supporting our safety and environmental programs. Our expectations. All employees, including contractors, are expected to conduct work on the site using the safety, environmental principles and guidelines. People do not have the right to work in an unsafe manner or show disrespect for the environment. We expect that you sign in the visitor's logbook located at the main office, are familiar with our site's safety vision and policy, are familiar with our site's environmental policy, are familiar with safety guidelines, are familiar with spill response guidelines, are familiar with legal requirements, are following and enforcing all guidelines and requirements. Tembec Health and Safety Policy. Create a safe and healthy workplace for all of its employees in regards to working in production methods, training and awareness, providing personal protective equipment, developing and implementing programs with input from employees to monitor and foster improvement, encouraging employees to develop a sense of mutual responsibility, reducing or eliminating toxic substances or hazards, collecting and analyzing data to monitor and audit occupational health, hygiene, and safety issues, supporting research to improve health and safety, reporting to the board of directors. Safety values that will be reflected in our behaviors are: all employees are accountable for their own personal safety and safety of those directly affected by their actions. Working safely is a condition of employment. No job is so urgent or so important that it cannot be done safely. Lockout is a key operating standard, zero energy. All employees, contractors, and visitors will wear their personal protective equipment. All incidents can be prevented. There are no accidents. We will maintain a neat, clean, and orderly workplace. Employee involvement is a critical success factor to achieve our goals. Personal protective equipment. To ensure the safety of all workers at all time while on Tembec property, the following safety equipment must be worn. Head protection. A hard hat with the CSA Type 1 Class E rating must be worn with the peak in the front, except in meeting rooms, restrooms, offices, vehicles, lunchrooms, control room booths, or stores. Hearing protection. Hearing protection must be worn in all areas inside the mill buildings except in meeting rooms, restrooms, offices, lunchrooms, control room booths, stores, and any other posted areas. Foot protection. CSA-approved footwear measuring at least 6 inches in height must be worn at all times, except in main office, meeting rooms, site offices, and lunchrooms. Boots must have a green triangular patch bearing the approving agency's emblem, CSA, ANSI. Boots must be in good condition and laced up to the top to provide the full protection benefits for which the footwear is designed. Hand protection. Gloves must be worn at all times except in meeting rooms, offices, vehicles, lunchrooms, control room booths, and stores. High visibility vest with high visibility stripes or other site approved high visibility clothing is required while at ground level in all outside areas within the mill yard. Eye protection. Class 1 eye protection must be worn at all times while on site except in meeting rooms, restrooms, offices, vehicles, lunchrooms, control room booths, or stores. The eyewear must have permanently attached side shields. Safe work attire. No dangling jewelry, no rings if working with or near equipment, no loose clothing, no muscle shirts, t-shirt minimum. Hair below the collar must be restrained. Vehicle operation. Seatbelts must be worn. Obey all applicable traffic signs. Do not exceed 20 kilometers per hour. Loader traffic has the right of way. Please yield to loader traffic. Make eye contact and ensure operator acknowledges your presence before proceeding. Back vehicles into designated parking area. No parking is permitted in front of the sawmill or planer except as authorized. Short-term parking for deliveries, company vehicles for part component pickup, etc. Please respect the accessible, handicapped parking signs. General safe practices. You must contact the mobile equipment operators when traveling through any yards in a vehicle or on foot. This includes forklifts and log loaders. You must use the designated safe access route when traveling from the main office through the mill, planer, shipping and kiln yards. After receiving a reply or establishing eye contact with the operators, you can proceed. Report all incidents immediately. This includes near misses, first aids, environmental incidents, and property damage. No disposable butane lighters. Smoking is prohibited on site, including inside personal vehicles. Use approved containers to dispose of all garbage. Keep plastic away from chip piles. Remain with your designated company representative. Non-guided tours must be approved by the general manager. Be aware of employees working at their job. Please do not distract them. Never attempt to function or work with any machinery. Maintain distance from operating equipment. Use handrails on all stairways. Use people doors, not mobile equipment doors. Walkways and access catwalks are identified with yellow handrails, mid-rails, and toe plates. Never under any circumstance cross over or reach beyond these safety barriers. They are also considered as guards to keep you from a safe distance from danger zones. Only employees or contractors who are trained in site-specific policies and procedures, i.e. lockout, confined space, working from heights policy, may with supervision carry out such tasks. Emergency situations. The sound of the evacuation alarm is an intermittent siren. In the event of an emergency which requires evacuation, remain calm. Your company representative will escort you to the marshalling zone for a head count. Scale shack. If you become separated from your representative, exit the building via the nearest exit. Don't run. Make your way to the marshalling zone located at the scale shack. In the event of an emergency situation, do not get involved in situation unless you are specifically asked to help. Internal emergency services could be reached on any radio. In case of a power outage, turn radio on channel 2 at any location. Outside emergency services could be reached by telephone. Dial 911 for emergency services. When contacting external emergency services, state your name. State the nature of the emergency and services required. Sawmill address is Tembec Sawmill, 70 17th Avenue, Cochrane, Ontario. Environmental policy. P. Protect the environment. I. Improve the environmental performance and prevent pollution. C. Comply with the laws. C. Conserve, recycle, and renew resources. PIC is an acronym utilized to ensure a basic understanding of the key goals and objectives of Tembec's environmental policy. Environmental program. The process of first assessing our impact on the environment and then making less of an impact is the purpose of Tembec's Environmental Management Program, EMP. We have incorporated the Environmental Management System as defined by the International Standards Organization, ISO 14001. Environmental Management System. According to ISO, there are 6 key elements of an EMS. 1. An environmental policy. 2. Planning, analyzing the environmental impact of its operation. 3. Implementation, operation, developing and putting into practice processes to ensure that we meet our environmental goals and objectives. 4. Checking and corrective actions. 5. Management review, review of the EMS. 6. Continual improvement. Environmental performance goals in 6 areas. 1. Utilize 98% of wood fiber brought into the mill. 2. Reduce, reuse, recycle, and reclaim 75% of all non-wood waste materials. 3. Meeting atmospheric emission and water requirements set by law. 4. Maintain and make sure not to increase noise levels of the mill's operations. 5. Reduce greenhouse gas emissions. 6. Reduce purchased electricity consumption relative to production. Custom Trade Partnership Against Terrorism. The Customs Trade Partnership Against Terrorism is an initiative of the government and business community that aims to strengthen the security of the supply chain. It is a process whereby the customs authorities of the United States asking to the import sector to document and, if necessary, to improve its security procedures to protect against the risk of a terrorist attack. Tembec is a certified member of the Customs Trade Partnership Against Terrorism and has made the following commitments. Ensure the handling and transportation of products to the United States in terms of physical and material security. Ensure the physical security and protection of employees involved in handling of products to the United States. Ensure the physical security and protection of employees involved in handling of products to the United States. Prevent theft and misuse or mishandling of products to the United States. All visitors will be required to sign in at the main office. A temporary yellow visitor pass will be given and worn by each visitor. At the end of the visit, each visitor must sign out and return the temporary yellow visitor pass prior to leaving the site. In the event of an introduction of unauthorized person or persons or suspect material or not authorized on the site or in a shipping truck. When an employee sees unidentified person circulating on the site or any material uncommon or suspicious, he shall notify his immediate supervisor. After evaluation, the supervisor will judge if the emergency measures must be engaged. Tembec President and CEO, Mr. Jim Lopez.
Hello, my name is Jim Lopez, and I'm the President and CEO of Tembec. On behalf of all of our employees, welcome to Tembec. My brief message today is regarding health and safety. The company operates a wide variety of manufacturing facilities in the pulp, paper, lumber, and chemical industries. These facilities utilize various technologies, equipment, and work methods. It is extremely important before you enter these facilities that you pay close attention to the health and safety orientation and training provided, because we want to ensure that you return home as safe and healthy as you are when you arrived at our site. Forced operations utilize a highly mechanized fleet of equipment in a highly variable environment. Weather, terrain, and forest density are just a few of the many variables that can make working conditions unsafe if equipment is not utilized properly and proper working procedures are not followed. A sawmill operation is a highly mechanized environment where large volumes of logs and lumber are manipulated at high speeds. In this type of environment, it is critical that all guarding is in place, that equipment is kept in good working order, and that you do not put any part of your body in a place where it does not belong, even for a brief moment. Pulp, paper, and chemical operations are both chemical and mechanical processes with a number of potential hazards. These operations utilize certain chemicals that can be very dangerous if not handled properly. There are high temperatures used throughout the process and high pressure vessels. While these operations have safeguards in place to protect our employees, it is critical that the equipment is maintained and operated according to very specific standards and procedures. The company has a fundamental responsibility to ensure the health and safety of every person who enters our facility. In addition to complying with all laws and regulations, Tembec has policies, procedures, and guidelines guiding how we safely carry out our daily work. These must be followed without compromise. Every individual also has a fundamental responsibility when it comes to health and safety. If you're a visitor to our facilities, you must attend an orientation program, obey all signs, and follow the instructions of the Tembec personnel guiding you through the mill. If you're an employee, your responsibilities are much more in-depth. This includes, you must know, understand, respect, and apply all health and safety work procedures, rules, and regulations. You must work with all materials and chemical products in a safe manner and follow the established rules, procedures, and work practices. You must wear proper personal protective equipment. You must maintain safety equipment in good condition and take appropriate measures to replace damaged equipment. You must not remove or modify any safety mechanism or operate any equipment that has been taken out of service which is damaged or unusable. You must immediately report any damage to the structure, equipment, lights, ventilation, floors, protective guarding, or other damaged systems and take the proper measures to prevent all accidents that can occur from those damaged items. You must utilize all tools and equipment in the right manner for which they have been designed. Damaged tools and equipment need to be reported immediately. You must operate equipment only after receiving the supervisor's authorization. You must keep the working area safe and clean at all times. You must report immediately all accidents, illnesses, and all near misses to your supervisor and participate in any investigation. The company takes its health and safety responsibilities very seriously. To provide the proper oversight and accountabilities, we have a structure in place, starting with the Health, Safety, and Environment Committee of the Board of Directors and the Executive Health and Safety Steering Committee, which I chair. The structure goes right through the organization, including a joint health and safety committee at each facility. While this structure is important in providing a safe and healthy work environment for all employees and visitors at Tembec, just as critical is our attitude as we approach our work each day. My personal request to you is to take no risks, no matter how small. If you think it may not be safe, don't do it. If you're not sure, ask someone. While we strive to make the workplace at Tembec as safe and healthy as possible, it is a vigilance of everyone that will ensure that each and every person will return home as safe and healthy as they arrived. I'd like to welcome you to Tembec once again. Please work safely and enjoy your stay with us.